Hey everyone, it's your boy, Anthony Fantano here. You know who it is. You're going to be listening to another episode of the Needle Drop Podcast here. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to support this podcast, you can do a few different things, including what you're doing now, watching it on this YouTube channel, subscribing, commenting, liking. You can also hit up our support page where we can deliver this podcast to you in your email inbox for a small monthly fee. Also, down there in the description, you can hit up our Amazon Associates link. Anything you buy on Amazon, if you live in the US, we get kickback from it. Does not add to your overall price. And yeah, in this episode, we are having a discussion with producer, musician, comedian, content creator extraordinaire, Mr. FrankJavCee. Just surpassed the 100,000 subscriber mark on his fantastic YouTube channel, which is also linked down there below. And we have a talk about that, a talk about music, a talk about content creation, YouTube, and more. So enjoy this very lengthy, very involved, and very fun conversation. You're the best. Bye. Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and you are listening to the latest episode of the Needle Drop Podcast, where we go across the internet interviewing content creators of all shapes and sizes, although now we have a heavy hitter on the show today. He has a YouTube channel where he just surpassed the 100,000 subscriber mark. We're super proud of him, and we're having him on the... Hey, I'm not done talking about you. Shut the fuck up. God.
I'm sorry.
We're super proud of him, and that's why we're having him on the podcast this week, FrankJavCee.
Hello everyone, it is me, FrankJavCee, and in today's video tutorial, I am talking to the busiest, internetiest, musiciest nerd.
Oh man, I hope you came prepared with some notes of some
It's funny because when you were like, oh, when you hit 100K, like I've literally been mentally planning this moment for like the past 3 months. Mm-hmm. So I am fully prepared. Not really, actually. I'm just going with the flow. I'm very Taoist right now. I just go with it. Like that's what I try to do with my art, is just go with it and just experience it. Which is why, like, I don't know, the last podcast I was on with H3 Productions, like that was totally just like random as fuck because I couldn't sleep the night before, and my girlfriend had bought me like this 10x pop brownie, so I cut it up into 4s, and I thought, hey, maybe if I eat one and then go to sleep, it'll make me go to sleep. So I ate like 1/4 of it, and then I woke up and I was like, oh shit, that was a stupid idea. So like that was kind of like, I don't know, I was just kind of like awkward that whole time. But I want to thank you for having me on your podcast. It really means a lot to me. And you are like, I don't know, like you have your unique niche on the internet as like music, what is it, like music critiquer, music reviewer, and like you low-key inspired me to like kind of do what I do with my whole like satirical, like, oh, look at this music.
That's really weird.
Why?
No, it's cool. It's totally fine. No, because when I first came across your stuff, I don't know, like I didn't see it as being influenced by what I do at all. Although you did, I think part of the reason I reached out to you is because it was in the vaporwave video, and you had a picture of me doing that floral shop review in there, and I remember I had seen a couple of your videos at a friend's house, and I was like, I wonder if I should comment on this guy's videos, because I think they're really funny, but sometimes you never really know. Sometimes you think somebody's doing something really cool, and then you message them and you're like, hey man, you're doing some really cool stuff. And it turns out that person already knows about you and they fucking hate you.
Aw.
And
that's actually happened to me with a lot of vaporwave producers. Like I'll reach out to them and be like, oh hey, I like your stuff, and they're like, fuck you, you're ruining the scene, you're not this. And I'm like, holy shit, like I'm sorry that I made fun of like one genre like 2 years ago almost, and it blew up more than your fucking music. Fine, then I won't fucking talk to you anymore. Shit.
You know, it's just, you know, satire. It's not like, you know, necessarily a 100% reflection of personal feelings.
Yeah,
you know, you don't hate vaporwave or vapor wavers, although I find and I do appreciate vaporwave, but I find it funny that someone would be like, the vaporwave scene, man, fuck you. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of like a virtual scene, sort of like a virtual plaza.
It's all over the world too. That's one thing that I fuck with is that like it's international. Like there's people from like Greece messaging me being like vaporwave, people from Brazil, people from Russia. Actually, there's this one YouTuber I influence named Fly Tanagan, I think is his name, but he's a Russian YouTuber who does my style where he'll talk about like underground music genres but in Russian. And he was really inspired by my Witch House video where I was like, Witch House. So he did his own Witch House because he messaged me and he was like, oh, I really like your videos. The Russian subtitles are shit because I just like Google Translate all my subtitles. And he's like, I want to do my own version of your Witch House thing. Is that cool? I'm like, sure, go ahead. And then he did that. And he low-key like started a whole Russian Witch House underground scene that Vice was talking about like, I think a year after. And I was like, well, that's really cool how like you do one thing and then it ripples into like other parts of the world and stuff.
If Witch House really needs to make a comeback now, and I guess it's not going to happen in America. So, Russia, there's really no better place for it to happen.
Yeah, cold, bleak. Well,
Yeah,
that's from what I've
exactly.
seen, and I think they love that shit. Like, I mean, I love that Hoover synth, the whole like I fuck with the bee sounds. So like, I don't know.
Yo, dude, it just makes you think, what the hell happened to Salem? Like, what happened to Salem? Where are they now?
I don't know. Like a lot of these Witch House producers and a lot of like people that produced in 2010, like I don't know, music is so weird. Like they'll like some people like especially in now today's society where everything's like ADHD, like now on demand, like people will blip up, blow up, and then disappear really fast. So it's like right now, like especially with my music, I'm trying to create something sustainable. So that's why like I created this like I'm gonna sound super marketable, but I created the FrankJavCee brand where it's like I am an artist. Watch me do all these different things rather than I am an artist. This is my genre. It's like I am the artist. Watch me do all these different genres. So I think that's the future of art. Like I like talking about the future.
Sure, the thing about jumping on trends right now as a musician is, there's so much saturation within a certain sound or a certain style, and even if you manage to sort of make it to the top of that style or the top of that trend, what's going to end up happening is 1 or 2 more years down the road, regardless of how popular you were when that style was hot, that style itself is just going to die out in the public sort of interest. And then from there, you're going to have to change up. Like you're going to have to do a total 180 with your sound or with your style, unless you come up with something entirely original that people just do not know how to copy.
Yeah.
If you're like a Flying Lotus or something like that, like his style is so dense and it's so intricate that it's not anything just, some fledgling first year producer can just like rip off easily.
Yeah. Unless you know how to do things just right. Like in my IDM tutorial where I teach people how to just randomize their drum hits. So if you randomize it just right, it sounds like, oh, someone spent hours meticulously doing this when it's just white noise on a drum hit. Like, what was it?
I was going to ask you, in your mind, sort of what allows you to have staying power? What do you feel like you do that's in your best interest to sort of keep people interested in your next video, in your next album, in your next song? What to you as an artist means making a sustainable career, making a sustainable music?
Yeah. Well, for me, this goes back to like my background. Like I'm really into numbers. Like I fucking love math. I'm into like numerology and just like I get off to numbers. Numbers is like my big thing. So like music is just numbers having fun. Like, all the music theory, all the different like modes and stuff. It's all just numbers. So like with my music, like when I first started on YouTube, I had no numbers whatsoever. Like when I did my How to Vaporwave, I had like 2,000 subs for my 8-bits that I used to do, but then they were always being taken down because of copyright strikes. So I actually got rid of every single one of my 8-bits on my channel. I actually got a strike for a Childish Gambino 8-bit like a month ago. So like I can't upload more than like 15-minute videos now. So like after I did that, I just removed every single like 8-bit that I ever made, and just now my channel's mostly my how-tos. But with sustainability, what I started noticing is when I shifted my style towards more like my how-tos and all that other stuff, I started noticing the numbers growing, the engagement growing, the more people were coming to me just because of my, I guess, style. And like I took a month off. If anyone noticed, like if anyone's like really like I don't know, they observe me like closely. Like I took the entire month of February and the beginning of March off just to collaborate and just kind of see where I was going. And the numbers kept still growing. So like my back catalog was interesting enough that my viewers were going back and rewatching it or sharing it still. And I still get notifications when someone barely finds like my vaporwave video. Now they're like, check this out or check out this trap video. And it keeps growing from there. But I think sustainability comes from being able to do like be a jack of all trades, like literally say like as a musician I can do all genres rather than as a musician I am one genre. And I think that's something that a lot of young music producers don't get right now, because a lot of them see music as a get quick rich scheme. Because I get a lot of messages where it's like producers being like, help me create a banger, how do I get views, how do I get this, how do I get that? And I feel like, especially with my slow rise, it's not necessarily like I've never had a viral hit. That's something that I've noticed is like I've never got shared by like 9gag or like BuzzFeed or something like that. It's always been organic. Like my entire channel is literally just people finding me or their friends sharing it with their friends. So I feel that to create sustainability is like you have to create an actual bless you. You have to create like an actual like it's what's the word I'm looking for? Like an actual engagement and an actual interactivity with your viewer, so that they want to stay and they want to see you grow. Like I also like showing my like, I don't know if you've seen this video where I showed like my studio, and it's just like my room I share with my sister, but she doesn't share the room with me anymore. She like sleeps in the room, so I have this like little like shitty room to myself. And I wanted to show people this is where I create my music, because a lot of people think you need a huge studio, you need all this analog gear, and we live in like the digital age now where literally anyone can just upload anything to SoundCloud with like the shittiest DAW and it can blow up mainstream in like a day. But to create that sustainability, you have like that interaction, that engagement with the audience, where it's like I don't know, it's like this is probably gonna get people mad, but like I watch a lot of Let's Players sometimes, and the way they interact with their audience. And that is how you get someone to pay attention, to care about you. Is like, if you can make someone laugh, if you can make someone happy, if you could like make someone feel like they're your friend, that's like the future of like currency, and like not currency, but like what's the word? Like just interactive engagement. Like people will be more engaged with you if you actually talk to them. Like I message all the messages I get, I try to respond to as many as I can, like with like a little like emoji or something. And like those little things help you get I don't know, just listeners.
Okay, so you're trying to create videos, you're trying to create content, whether it's music or whether it's visual, that that people are going to not only want to rewatch, watch with their friends, share with their friends, but also your videos are funny enough and they're based on topics that they're going to be entertaining to watch tomorrow, and they're going to be entertaining to watch like a year from now.
Yeah, there's like also I like getting comments where people are like, I don't even care about music production theory, I just like watching your videos. And that's how I know I've hit like a middle ground, like especially with where I'm trying to go with my art, because like I think visual video music art is like the ultimate culmination of everything I do. Like I don't know, it's funny that my binaural beat video took me so long to do. It took me like almost a month of just planning, doing this, doing that, and then like probably like a week of just pure editing. And then after it was done, I was like, I'm bored. And then I made my how to vapor trap in like less than 2 days, and that one blew up bigger than my last video. So I was like, man, like I don't know, it's like so some things work, some things don't work. But like with YouTube, I like experimenting. That's why I started a new channel where I can like do my weird experimental stuff. That's also an excuse for me to get away with Let's Plays with my girlfriend, so we can just like, because we're doing a whole album based on Super Nintendo sound fonts. So I've been just downloading Super Nintendo sound fonts, making beats with that, and we've been writing music over that. So that album I don't want to really talk about that much, because it is not even done. It's not even like 10% of the way done.
Those terms, though, are just very trendy, very searchable terms, though. Vapor trap, especially with your audience, though. Like people are going to see those terms and be like, "What, vapor trap? I got to see this."
You can just literally put vapor on anything, because vape culture is super super huge right now. Vape Nation.
Have you been vaping at all?
Yeah, actually, I love the vapors. Just kidding. Actually, I do have like one little cheap little Chinese like vaporizer, but I don't use it that much because it's super cheap. But I don't know. Vaping is I'm waiting for the day like the statistics come out that's like vaping is 30 times worse than smoking like tobacco or cigars, and I'm gonna be like, oh shit.
It just seems like it's more of just like, I don't know, a fashion thing than it is if anybody's sort of getting anything out of it, like physically or mentally.
Yeah,
you know, it's just like, look at me, I'm like
trendy.
blowing smoke. It looks really cool that I'm blowing smoke.
That's like the next thing that I would want to do is design trendy vaporizers based on vaporwave, and then sell that to the millions of kids out there that watch my videos.
I mean, why not just, I don't know, get a vaporizer just like installed into your throat so that every single time you breathe, you're just like blowing vapor out into the world.
Isn't that like that's the future of all technological advancements is transhumanism, where we slowly become ones with our robot companions and have robot eyes and stuff like that. I can't wait for that. Like that's something I'm really interested in is like contacts that are just your computer and you can literally see anything. Like you don't need a phone anymore. It's just your eyes are robot eyes.
I guess it's better than having a computer chip installed in your head.
Well, that's probably like the next step. That'd be scary though, because like, what if you get a virus and then suddenly like your worst nightmares are like legit real?
Well, yeah, not only that, but what if the contacts give you eye cancer?
Oh man, that's the worst.
It's okay. They'll just replace your eyes with robot eyes.
Yeah, and then you can see through people's flesh and see their bones, and you can see their organs, and you can see.
But at that point, you're just gonna see like robot parts and stuff. Like once you start looking through people's flesh,
it's like crazy.
Like, whoa,
I'm also
like
really into the singularity right now. The thought of everyone combining together to be one infinite being of light and just vibrating higher and higher forever. Like that's kind of what my binaural beat video is about. Like I don't know. Like I've been looking at these trends. Like I look at music like. I don't know, like music to me, I always tell my fans, send me music, send me what you got. And literally everything started sounding the same after a while. I was like, wow, I could have sworn I've heard the same beat over and over and over again. So I'm like, this is like probably like slowly because of the internet, we're slowly getting to this universal style of music, which I think is low key just like trap hi-hat triplets and like fucking low bass and high hi-hats. And like, We're creating this weird universal sound, and I don't know, stuff like that intrigues me, especially like when I found out that there's this 1999 study where this guy said that like when people collaborate and work together, the brain starts syncing up at a rate of 40 hertz, which is also the same rate at which like the bass drum in most 808 kicks and EDM kicks are at. So it's like, oh, that makes sense. So like when people hear that frequency over and over again, they merge together and to create one gigantic just jumping mass of humans.
So, so in your mind,
yeah,
it seems like the internet is sort of trending toward this one sound. You don't think there's a moment where it'll just like totally die out and there'll be like, I don't know, a trap bubble or something like the housing bubble, and and then everybody will just be like poor.
Everything does cycles. Everyone's a cycle, you know.
Sure.
Like things when things start, they blow up and then they go to an end. Like right now, vaporwave is still rising. Like when I made my vaporwave video, like if you look at the Google Trends, the day I made my vaporwave it had a stock market crash where like no one cared about vaporwave, and then like a month or two later, it started rising. It's still getting bigger and bigger. But like with most things, it needs to peak, and like that at that moment is when it becomes so oversaturated. Like literally everyone is doing it that there's no one unique or special. And then like someone comes out with like, I made a really cool lo-fi acoustic album, and if it's that good, then people are gonna switch to that. You know what I mean?
No, it's absolutely true. And I think part of the reason vaporwave has sort of seen continued success is that it changed. You know, it's not just like, you know, 80s R&B and sort of smooth jazz samples anymore, you know, and like Roman marble busts.
Yeah.
You know, it sort of seems to have embraced a lot of different genres, and to me has sort of become a kind of a new expression of ambient music.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think, you know, a lot of the creators of these records would be as, I guess, eager to just sort of throw that ambient label on it, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I guess it's kind of a cool way for this next generation to engage in ambient music without just calling it ambient music or making it sound like the ambient music of the 70s, 80s, 90s, or 2000s.
Yeah, Brian Eno actually talked about that. I'm not sure if he said it in like the late 70s, early 80s, or he's like, all the stuff that we hate today, like the cassette degradation and vinyl like pops and stuff, like in the future, people are going to idolize and worship that. Like it's going to be the best thing to them. And like right now, the digital like quality is going to be seen as like disgusting. And it's like, yeah, well, we go through cycles. What I'm really interested in is like where the technology and musical equipment is going to be in the next 10 years. Like, will people be able to just program beats instantaneously, or will people be able to like go up on stage and like literally just like create music out of just movements of their hands and stuff like that, like everything on the fly, like a new jazz renaissance where everything's just improvised and no one show sounds the same, rather than like a pre-made, pre-mixed, pre-mastered set. Like, I don't know, like I'm really interested in like the future of just creating music.
I think part of the reason this generation is so evil, yeah, it's evil,
it is
so easily able to idolize stuff like tapes and like vinyl, is because we can kind of enjoy it, and we can enjoy music we can enjoy the aesthetics of those mediums without any of the inconveniences.
Yeah.
You know, like if we want to listen to something that has kind of a tape sound to it, we can just kind of casually listen to a tape. But if we don't feel like listening to the tape, we can go on YouTube and stream it, go on Spotify and stream it. We could just listen to an MP3 version of the project that we have. So, you know, we don't have to deal with the everyday headaches of oh fuck, the tape cassette just like broke, or it warped, or it just doesn't sound as good as it used to. If you buy a record and you know you scratch that record, it's really no skin off your teeth, because you could just go listen to the album online if you want. You know, I bought a new copy of that Ghost record, Meliora, and there was a song on side B that every single time I listen to it, it skips. And I mean, I don't know, I guess I didn't really think it was that big of a deal, because if I wanted to, I can probably just go listen to the MP3 version of the record, which I have on my phone, and I have on my computer, and the album was probably recorded digitally anyway.
It's funny, you say that, like, you have physical copies of music, whereas people have, MP3s, digital, make-believe copies of music that literally doesn't exist except for like ones and zeros. And I noticed a popular trend amongst the whole vaporwave scene is cassette tapes, where people be like, here, you want to buy inconvenience? Here's a cassette tape with my music put on it. And like, there's nothing wrong with that, but I just think it's weird that music today is literally worthless. Like, yeah, of course, people put all this effort, they put all this emotion and heart and, mixing, mastering, all this other stuff. But literally anyone can just rip a copy of it off of YouTube or just steal it. And music is literally worthless now because of how easy it is to get it. But people are trying to find ways to make it worthwhile, like with a physical releases and stuff like that. And I think that's where that whole like vaporwave capitalism stuff really comes into play. It's like when people are like, look at all the cassettes I made. You can just buy my music for cassettes. And then like people, after like a year or two after the artist I don't know, just like does whatever, they upload them on eBay being like rare limited edition $100, and it's like, oh shit, like there we go, consumerism at its finest.
Well, I think it's sort of a reaction to how easily music has just kind of made, how easily the internet has made music accessible. The access is just so wide, and it's just so far reaching, and internet connections are everywhere today. So I see that as kind of a reaction to that in they're sort of saying, listen, this is like a limited thing, you can't get this everywhere. And I think that's what some music listeners are looking for these days. They're looking for a unique experience. They're looking for something that not everybody has. But the fact of the matter is that with the internet, everybody has a copy of everything. Everybody has seen everything. It's not like in the 80s and the 90s where the underground, people who were, enjoyed mainstream music weren't conscious of the underground a lot of the time. Like it was just this totally alien world that people didn't get, or they thought it was weird, or they didn't want to have anything to do with it. There was like, it was shadowy, you know, but
Yeah,
now
it
the
was
internet,
also region based. Like,
sure, absolutely, it was
distinct regions had their
geographical.
own sounds and stuff. The underground had their own sound, whereas now with the internet, it's like, oh, this is the underground of the internet, but it spreads everywhere now.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, there's no light. I mean, there's no darkness anymore. You know, the light has been shed upon everything. Like everybody and their mother like knows who anal cunt is. You know, they're
Yeah.
no longer like this weird, obscure, like just really fucked up thing that you have to be. I don't know. You have to have a screw or two loose to like pursue that sort of thing. You know, now it's just kind of like another weird thrill for people to kind of gawk at on the internet. But still, though, you know, and that's why I sort of came out with that new segment I did a few days ago with the it came from Bandcamp segment, because
Yeah, I
there
love
is
that
like a
idea.
lot of like really weird stuff on Bandcamp that, you know, you just don't come across every day.
Yeah. There's also this new genre I wanted to parody. It's called deep web. Where have you heard of it? It's
No.
super underground. It's
Ew.
yeah, it's like you basically get YouTube videos. You sample YouTube videos with less than like without any views or less than like 10 views, and you sample them and use music. And a lot of people have been doing this, but like a lot of them I feel are like, you know, they're what's the word, like pioneers, are they're trying to go into the great unknown with creating the new genre. But I think they're missing the point of video, like the video, what's the word, like the video canvas. They're getting a video and just taking the audio, and they're like, let's just make music out of it. I'm like, dude, you're taking a video, just use the video to make music out of it. Because I realize a lot of people don't care as much as they used to about music. Like whenever I talk to like old people about music, they're like, back in my day, like we used to listen to music and we used to just have the video, but now everyone's like, oh, you need a visualizer, a video, or something to make you feel the music. And it's like, well, I think that now we have the video, so like go get a video, sample it, cut it up with a bunch of other videos, and you have like this whole new art form, like a whole new like collage of just pre-existing content. And that's what I've noticed about YouTube, especially now, is it's a lot of people with pre-existing content commenting on the pre-existing content. Like, look at this thing, here are my opinions on it. Whereas before it was like, here's a creation that I made solely of myself. Now it's more like, here's a mix mash of everything that has ever influenced me, all put into one specific little video portal you could watch.
Yeah, I think it's sort of hard these days for somebody to come up with something that just feels like it comes out of nothing, because you just have so much access and so much stimulation from everything, you know. It's part of the I guess it's a convenience, but it's also a problem. It's a double-edged sword. You know, not only do you have so much access to current music right now, you know, there's literally no obscure underground on the internet. You know, you can easily access anything. All of it's searchable. But simultaneously, you have so much wide access to all the music of the past as well, which, sure, there's some music here and there that didn't get digitized, didn't get repressed, and you're not going to be able to find it anymore. But it used to be that, you know, a record would come out 10 years ago, and if it wasn't that popular, it would be kind of hard to get a hold of it in the next decade. And with that kind of natural progression of music being a physical, you know, medium with records and CDs and cassettes and all that, you know, stuff would die out and stuff would become obscure, and stuff would become hard to hear and hard to find and hard to get a hold of. And now, you know, not only do we just have so much contemporary music that we could overstimulate ourselves with, but you could listen to literally anything that came out over the past 50 years too. So with those two, you know, problems kind of compounding, it's sort of difficult for anybody to make anything that either doesn't sound blatantly influenced by something, or, you know, something that the audience is actually going to interpret as being new or original as well, because the audience has heard so much as well before they've even heard artist X's new record. You know, like even before the second song starts, they're probably going to jump to a bunch of conclusions as to what the album is going to sound like, because they've heard, you know, all the big major relevant bands that have been so influential from the 70s and the 80s and 90s. They already know whether or not you're listening to Led Zeppelin or Joy Division or New Order or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I think about this whole like new movement of like just like unearthing the gems of the past and digitizing it for today is like so important to so many people, because it's like, check out this thing that probably no one's ever seen before or that people forgot about, and let me refurbish it for today. And it's like, especially like, because I'm really into history. Like that's my thing. Like I'll go back to like whenever, because like I like especially with music, like I like looking up like, oh, when jazz was a big thing, oh, when rock and roll was a big thing, or even in the past when it's like, oh, when composers were composing things, which is just technically like old school DAWs, and then hiring musicians to be their VSTs to like record whatever for them. And
Dude,
it's
I
like,
put up a picture of sheet music the other day, and I said the original DAW. It's the original DAW.
It is the original DAW. It was just paper with little sketchings, and you would tell your little minion drone VST people to play it for you, and then the kings and queens would applaud, and all the rich people would shake their jewelry everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, music is weird. Music is crazy. Like the more especially I look into it, like how like it syncs everyone's brains and hearts at the same time, and like there are people who like will listen to my music that like I recorded, like I don't know, like I hide a lot of stuff in my music like purposely, subconsciously sometimes, like without me even noticing it, and like I'll listen to it again and be like, oh shit, that's in there. And like it's weird because some people have like an intimate reaction towards music, like they'll put it on, like that's their comfort, that's their like their sense of like zen is through music. So it's really interesting, like especially knowing that like they're putting me inside their brains.
That sounds real sexy.
Yeah, it can be sometimes.
So I'm trying to figure out, how you feel on this based on what you just said and what you said a little bit earlier. Do you feel like music is still important now? Is music still relevant to people? Does music still matter? Or, is it just merely a side dish now to whatever people are doing at the time that they're listening to it, or a side dish to whatever visual component has been combined with it somehow?
I believe music is actually really important, but the way we're treating it is not so important. I believe music, because like music has evolutionary purposes. Like for some reason, humans and birds are the only animals that can like keep on a beat or like make like a tapping sound or create rhythms and repeat and stuff. And it goes way back to like when everyone was like, primal, and everyone didn't have clothes, and everyone thought like the sky was like fucking like a giant god that was going to like murder everyone if they didn't like kill people for some reason. And it's like shamans and like priests and all the other people, like they would create trance like states by hitting rhythms together, and then people would get together and they would tap rhythms, and like for some reason like that was like the first communal thing that brought people together was the rhythm, the sound, like before you even had like civilization or anything. Like the whole storytelling and the whole everything is just revolved around rhythms and cycles and stuff like that. So I think music is extremely important, especially to like the human race as like evolution and everything. Like it's weird how music is a distinct like classifier of like sometimes race, class, and like just everything in general. Like have you noticed like the Grammys, like the Grammys are like low-key racist by splitting up like white and black music to like folk and R&B and stuff like that, but like it's like low-key just like cutting it up into like groups of people, whereas like I don't know where I'm going with this topic, but
well, I think it's music and certain sounds and certain genres are very culture based, and a lot of those cultural lines are drawn racially, they're drawn geographically, but that's the thing, people sort of favor the type of music that they sort of culturally identify with a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the future of music is just universal music, like music everyone can get into. And right now, from what I've seen, is just the numbers is like the music that has the most numbers is like the whole EDM bubble, where everything's just like put your hands up, boop 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 boop, and like that thing where it's like jump to the music, but then at the same time it has those like weird like neurotic effects that come from like the frequencies that are being emitted and like how it just entrances people. But I do think trance is the music of the great beyond. Like I think you posted a meme like that where it's like some guy, he was like, trance is the music of God and stuff like that.
Well, I think my rebuttal to that would be that just seems like it just seems so lowest common denominator, to the point where sure, you could have a collective experience to it, but on an individual level, it's almost meaningless, which is, the types of musical pursuits that sort of I go on, like I'm looking for a record, I'm looking for a song that's going to impact me on that very personal and that very unique level. And it doesn't really matter to me whether or not there are 100,000 other people out there who also think it's amazing. I'm going to feel how I feel about it regardless. But still, there are music listeners who sort of like in that EDM crowd, like you just mentioned, listen to music in a very collective sense. They listen to music because it's an excuse, it's a reason to get together and sort of have that collective experience.
Yeah. Also what you're saying is like, the whole intimate individual music, like just vibe, like a lot of music is just emotion simulators. So it's like when you listen to a song, this song wants you to feel happy. This song wants you to feel angry. This song wants you to feel sad. And like that's what I'm starting to notice more and more about, like what makes people like music is specifically by creating unique emotions to an individual that they're like, whoa, I need to feel that again. And it low-key becomes like a drug at that point. But like it's weird because I'm a musician because I like making music that makes me feel good. And like I'll be producing songs, and sometimes a song I won't like and I'll just get rid of it. But if there's songs that make me feel good, like there's something just deep down where it's like, oh yes, I love this so much, I'm pretty sure someone else is gonna love it. So that's kind of like my reasoning for making music is I'll make music that makes me feel, it's not necessarily good. Like I guess there's some people that are into music that makes them feel bad. But if there's a song that makes me feel something immensely, then I'll release it.
It seems like everybody's trying to feel something when they're listening to a song, whether they're feeling an emotion or a certain nostalgia for a time. I mean, the deeper we go into this decade, the more music I hear that sounds like it's coming straight out of the 90s.
Yeah.
Like it seems like there's so many people that, and not even just, the two genres specifically are probably hip hop and rock music. There's so many bands now that I hear and they're just kind of doing like a post-hardcore thing or an early emo thing, or they are doing an alternative rock or a grunge thing, or there's a rapper who is doing like a boom bap East Coast thing, or they think that they're bringing real rap back with some of those old school hardcore bars.
Yeah. I mean, it's the internet. We're able to tap back into the past and revitalize it for the present. I also think it's like the whole subconscious thing that I like talking about a lot. Like I did this video on why vaporwave is mainstream, and in it I gave like a subtle like theory towards like it reminds people of being like in the womb. So like the music is like music that was playing when you were like, I don't know, just in the womb going through like the fluids, and that's kind of like the vibe that people are giving in the future right now. It's like I miss being, not almost alive yet.
It's pretty interesting to theorize exactly, sort of the way music kind of, I don't know, might in a subconscious way kind of remind you of certain things in certain eras. I mean, maybe, some of these old pieces of music, or like all this old pop music or smooth jazz or whatever, music that 20 or 30 years ago used to just kind of be played, I don't know, over the loudspeaker at a Kmart or in a mall or something.
Music. It gets exactly stuck in your subconscious, and then you're like, I want to create music, and then you create foreground music that was just background music decades ago.
Well, also, you're hearing that music and it's playing while you're in the womb, while your mom's probably like, out and about, going about her day. Yeah. And you're hearing that music through all that skin and all that fluid. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, the person producing this vaporwave track throws a low pass filter on it and sort of just like makes it a little muddy. So then maybe it sounds like it would have if you were listening to it in the womb.
Yeah, and then like you instantly start sucking your thumb, get in a fetal position, and then crawl up in the corner and cry. That's what music does to you. But
Got
it's
it.
funny, like my mom was really into like she's into like heavy metal music. She was like into Metallica and shit. So like I'm pretty sure it was just a bunch of like and but like through that it was just like machine music, which is probably why I just like really harsh dissonant noise music now.
Oh, okay.
Just kidding. I don't listen to noise music as much. I actually all I really listen to, like this is gonna piss people off, but I literally always listen to pop music and binaural waves. Like that's all I do is like, what's popular? Now let me listen to nothing for a really long period of time.
Do you hit up the iTunes charts?
Nah, I check the Spotify charts because I'm really into Spotify right now. Spotify is the future of music, I feel. So I've been just checking what's on popular on Spotify.
Are you into Meghan Trainor, the new Meghan Trainor single?
Which one's that? I haven't heard it.
I think it's the song No.
I like that one song where she's like da na 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 da da, and she's just like singing with the guy. Like it's really sad, but like I don't really listen to her that much, but I do like her melodies. So I like that song. I haven't heard her new stuff.
Tell me why you think Spotify is the future of music.
Because it's so easily accessible. I can't speak. It's so easily accessible. Like you can just put it on your phone, and people don't download music anymore because they don't want to, take up all that space. And like for the average consumer, just looking up their favorite artists, remembering their favorite artists' names, and just playing their stuff is way more simpler. Like even YouTube playlists, like some people make YouTube playlists with their favorite songs, and they'll just like if they go driving or go running or something, they'll just play the playlist and go. And I think that's really where the future of music is heading, is just like you have your favorite artist, you know their name, you search them up on Spotify, you listen to them, you do this and that. And like I think the whole idea of owning things, especially in the future, like I'm talking about like 50 years from now, I feel like no one's going to own anything in the future. Everything's just going to be like borrowed or passing through. I don't know, like that's just like these weird vibes I get.
Well, I mean, as far as media, I don't really know if there is going to be any sort of anybody owning anything, because especially with like, some new computers, specifically, like the new run of Macs that they have out, they don't even have CD drives.
Yeah.
So, that could just be a way of them to sell you a CD drive.
Everything's
simultaneously, it's I imagine a future where there won't be anywhere to put anything in terms of like, a physical sort of piece of media.
Yeah, everything's going to be in the cloud and everything's wireless. And you know what's trippy about all that stuff is it's all just frequencies. Like that's why I love music so much, because like all electricity, all radio waves, all internet connection, it's all just a wave. Like everything is literally a wave. Like even when you go down to like the atomic level and get even smaller than that, it's like it's just a vibration, it's just a wave. Everything is just like a cosmic musical experience. And that's why I fuck with music.
Okay. As someone who fucks with music, and someone who makes music, and someone who really cares about music, do you feel like you prioritize music, when you're listening to it, or is it something that just kind of sits in the background? Is it something that you feel like when you're listening to it, you're just kind of listening to it casually, or when you're listening to it, is it something that you're kind of giving your full undivided attention, and even if you aren't giving it your full undivided attention, or if somebody is not giving your music their full undivided attention, if they happen to be listening to your music, is that something that you see as wrong or disrespectful?
Not necessarily. Like I don't mind being background music. I don't mind being foreground music. Music exists everywhere. Like music like I'm doing this new video on Muzak, like the history of Muzak, which will be out probably when this podcast is out. And there was a big question of like, do people want to listen to foreground music, which is like, pop music with lyrics and stuff, or do people want to listen to background music, which is just like turning your life into a virtual video game where it's like you walk into a room and it's like, oh, soft jazz music, and you go outside, it's like, ooh, epic exploring music. It's like literally music exists everywhere, and I don't care whether or not a person listens to my music like as background music while they cook or clean or have sex or do whatever they want, or if they listen to my music as like, I'm focusing on every single detail he's putting into this. It's like I'm just happy if my vibrations go into someone's ear holes. Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless your soul.
Thank you. While there is a part of me that thinks that if you're going to put an album on, you should be giving it your attention. Simultaneously, I just kind of see that also as also as the beauty of music, or just a unique quality of music in and of itself. You know, music, I think, can, even if you're not giving it your full undivided attention, music could still affect you subconsciously if it's just on in the background, you know? So it's having an effect on you, whether you're giving it your full attention or you're not giving it any attention at all, or at least you think you're not giving it any attention. Yeah. And on top of that, you know, I don't think you could enjoy a certain kind of, I don't think you could enjoy any other artistic medium in that same way. You know, you can't sort of put a movie on while you're cooking and sort of enjoy the movie, you know, or sort of get anything truly out of the movie other than maybe just kind of a distraction from you cooking, you know, while you could easily put a song on while you're cooking. Some people can read and listen to music at the same time. I can't. I find it too distracting. You know, you can't like put on some slam poetry and a movie at the same time and expect to get anything out of it, though there's tons of slam poetry out there that's set to music, you know? And also there's movie soundtracks, you know? Somebody came up with this idea one day that, well, we need to, you know, put these visuals to music if the visuals are going to be entertaining, you know? I mean, that was essentially what people had to do back in the day before we had movies that talked, you know? Well, you know, it would just be boring if people just were looking at these soundless moving images on the screen. So, you know, if movies probably wouldn't have thrived if there wasn't some music there to sort of soundtrack the drama of the film before there was actually sound to the film for people to hear.
I feel like music is actually like, as an art, it's really low key. Like a lot of people will praise other artists for their, you know, visual film, like narrative stuff. But like with music, it's always like underneath everything. And I think music is literally the glue that connects a bunch of arts together. Like even paintings, like a painting can be seen as background painting and foreground painting. A background painting meaning like when you walk into an office, like this is like huge in like the 60s and 70s where people are like, we need to design the office aesthetic. So we're going to put like this plant right here and like this like modern art right here and then play music. And now we have an office from the 70s. Whereas like, I don't know. It's just like music is very, I know it's like an air art, but it's also very fluid to me, like water. And it connects everything together to make like a masterful piece, which is like my long-term goal isn't to be like a huge music producer, DJ guy. I'm like my long-term goal is to like, you know, do like films and like actual things that combine music, film, narrative, story, like all together to create one big thing. It's either that or just own my own label. Cause the more I've been talking to labels, the more I'm like, fuck, I can do this shit.
If you do that, the new Cal tape will come out on it.
Oh, thanks. It's going to be the aesthetic label. I don't know. I'll probably give it some stupid name like that.
But yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying with music. I mean, it is kind of a glue. And if not a glue, I mean, it sort of goes with everything, you know? I mean, you could pair it with pretty much every other art form out there. You could enjoy it simultaneously. Or, you know, and not even other art forms. People just love music to be around while they're doing other things, you know, especially socializing or partying.
Yeah,
or
like have
having
you ever been
dinner.
to a party where there's no music? Like,
yeah, I know, it
like
kind of
people
sucks.
Talking and it's like, what the fuck's going on? Like, why are we even together if there's no fucking 808 trap hits in the background for us to talk over?
Well, yeah, that's exactly the thing.
Actually, I really like the whole SoundCloud pop that's coming out, like the whole like future bass sound, like the really happy trap music. I really like that stuff. I can't make it though. I can't make like that's one thing. Like I make so much angry, sad, like aggressive stuff, but like if I try to make something happy and beautiful, I can't. And I just think it's because I was raised in the trap. Which is actually low-key true, because like I was looking at like where I live, and I actually live in government housing because the state owns where I live, because they're going to build a freeway through here, but there's like all this like crazy like what's the word, like politics just involved in building, because apparently there was like a radioactive spill in the 60s or something, and then like we're on like this ground that's like not really safe, and it's all just to build a freeway through so people who live in Pasadena can get to LA faster. So yeah. Living in the trap, radioactive trap.
So is it government housing because the government bought where you live?
Yeah, it's not necessarily like trap area, but it's like, I don't know.
I get it. So is it kind of an eminent domain thing?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like I'm stuck here. Well, unless I get out of here, but I'm okay not paying rent.
Okay, so what right now are kind of your, some personal goals that you want to achieve? Because I mean, it seems like you're having a lot of fun creating, but how do you want your YouTube channel and your art and whatever you make from here to sort of enhance the way that you're living?
The thing is, I want to, like, now that I hit 100,000, like 100,000 isn't as big as I thought it'd be, because like the universe is always reminding me that, like, hey, at any given moment, this can be taken away from you. Like with just life experiences. And then like I'm always on the lookout looking at what other YouTubers are doing. And there's like literally there's this an 11-year-old girl who plays like I think Call of Duty, and she like comments over it, and she got 100,000 subscribers in less than a month. And then there's this other dude who I found yesterday, whose birthday is the day after mine. He draws stick figures and talks about how to like casually explain science things, and he got 100,000 subscribers in less than a month. So it's like I'm kind of like, okay, well, I'm slowly going somewhere, and it's like I shouldn't compare myself to other artists, but like I have to remember that at any given moment, like this could all be taken away. So what I'm trying to do is just have fun with what I create, and if people see it too, if people vibe with it, then cool. But right now, I'm realizing I have like a bunch of eyes on me right now. I can just put out a record and probably go touring. So my next goal is to probably go out and see the world, because I've never left Los Angeles in my life.
And you have put out quite a bit of music on your Bandcamp so far.
Yeah.
So you would have a lot of music to tour behind.
Mm-hmm. It's just weird. Like, I don't know how I do it, because I would want it to be organic in a way where I can just like, get out there and like feel the energy with the crowd. Like, I don't want to just, as much as it pains me to say this, like, I don't want to like be like a DJ or like a guy that goes and presses play. Like, I want to be something a little bit more than that. But like, I feel ironically, eventually, I'm probably just going to be like, hey, check out this mix of all my songs together that are instrumentals, and I'll sing over them. And it'll be like a giant karaoke party. So I don't know.
Well, that's kind of another one of the blessings and curses of sort of making music in the modern age and with modern technology. We're no longer, sure, we're having these collective and these communal experiences with music, but a vast majority of the music that you hear these days isn't sort of made in that communal space. It's very singular. It's one person working on the track and producing it. And maybe if there's a feature or something, I don't know, they've already made the beat, and then they just kind of invite the person onto the song afterwards. Yeah. You're not talking about this songwriting process where you have 5-6 people in a room with their own respective instruments, all of which they know how to play really well, or you hope they could play really well.
Yeah.
And they don't have any ideas. They have to come up with the ideas right there as a group in the room where they're sort of writing this song. And then hopefully at the end of all of it, they have a good tune. They have a product, that they could put onto their record, or a single that they could sell or something. Yeah. So as a result, if it does go well, when it comes time to play that music live, it's really a no-brainer. They already know how to play, they've already practiced, and they don't need to, sort of agonize over, sort of having to press play or anything like that. Every performance is going to be at least a little different, because, it's going to be a different experience, and you can't just kind of perfectly recreate the same live show again and again and again. Yeah. If you're all playing live instrumentation. Now you could sort of create music by yourself in a cinch, but when it comes to sort of creating that live experience, a lot of people are kind of, left with no clue as to what to do.
Yeah, it's funny, because like I was thinking about how if I had like hypothetically like all the funds in the world to just do a tour where I can just play wherever I wanted to, and had this in like a hypothetical audience that would show up, it'd literally probably be just like a PowerPoint presentation with music. Like, I'd show up and be like, my visuals are going to be in the background while I sing over my instrumentals. So it's like a karaoke PowerPoint presentation. And like, I kind of don't want to do that because it's cheesy, but like at the same time, it's like, well, people want to see, I guess people would want to see me, and I guess people would want to come to like a communal dance sort of thing where you can just go crazy for a bit. So I'm still working out like all the bugs, because like I'm an independent musician. Like I've jammed with other musicians before, but nothing's ever really worked out where it's like, oh, it's perfect. Now we can go on the road or do something. Like it's always like real life has to intervene, and it's like we can't really do stuff like that. I actually got booked this guy's backyard show that's going to be at the end of April, in like it's in Pacoima, which is like some like little desert like suburb, and I'm going to be performing in his backyard just because he asked me to. I'm going to show up, and I told my audience, I was like, hey, I'm going to be here at a backyard show, and it's free, and I want to gauge to see how many people actually show up. Like I'm kind of nervous because Spotify tells me like how many people listen to me, like go out of their way to listen to me in Los Angeles, and it was like 500 to 600 people. So I was like, okay, what if I do a little show in LA, and like if 1% of the audience shows up, that's like 5 people, 6 people, or if they bring friends, it's like 10, 15 people. So I think that'd be a pretty interesting experience to do. Like the thing is, I do everything myself. I have no label backing. Like I told you in that other podcast, like I'm signed to like this music writing thing, but it's honestly like that's such a lie. Like it's such a joke, like the way the music industry works.
You
like,
lied?
No, I said it's such a joke. Like I
know,
thought like I was gonna be like getting like promotions and like getting like written about or like getting on labels, but instead it was more like, oh, here's a artist instrumental, write for it and maybe you'll get something. And it was something that I never I like, it was like the Hollywood dream of like, oh, I'm going to be hanging out with big artists. I'm going to be writing for them. I'm going to be meeting them. But instead it was like, oh, the internet exists. Here's an instrumental, write for it. And if they don't like it, well, write for someone else. And it was kind of like insulting too. Cause like I produce my own music. It's like, hey, why don't we just get this out? And honestly, like the whole idea of labels and like all that whole stuff, it's all dead. Like literally the internet killed the label. You are your own label now.
No, I mean, it's certainly subverted them to a point, but it seems like they still hold quite a bit of clout in terms of, you know, who is relevant, who isn't relevant, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, I don't know if I see labels ever just kind of being completely phased out or going away, honestly, you know, because I think, while, you know, I admire you and I think you're super industrious and I think you're super smart and I think you wear a lot of hats because, you know, not only because you have to, but because, you know, you have the guts to wear a lot of hats. There are a lot of musicians out there who don't want to do any of that stuff, you know.
And I low-key hate those musicians.
Do you hate them because
I just think they're lazy.
Yeah,
like,
you think,
a lot of
people, they're
people
just being lazy?
Yeah, like they're the whole diva, like the whole like artist diva who's like, I'm only a musician, I am an artist, like I don't do any of that. It's like, well, too bad. Like you have to grow up and do everything yourself eventually. Like if I really wanted to do my own cassettes, like I've gotten so many vaporwave labels being like, hey, throw your mixtape on my cassette and I'll give you like a 50% cut. And it's like, no, I want all of it. Like I can do it myself.
So do you feel like eventually all musicians are going to have to come to a point where that they're going to have to be wearing all those hats? Or, you know, I mean, there are always going to be Taylor Swifts of the world who,
yeah, I mean,
you know,
eventually
who don't have to worry about, you know, that stuff. And you know, they're making so much money and they're generating so much buzz that there are people who, you know, essentially are just waiting on them hand and feet in terms of promoting them and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Yeah, but here's the thing about that's why I said the music industry is a lie, because it's literally just smoke and mirrors. Like whenever I hear about a new hot young artist that just popped up out of nowhere who's instantly getting radio play, I instantly know that there's like an entire team of people making it look like they're like, you know, they just came up out of nowhere. But that's one thing that I hate about the music industry is it's all just smoke and mirrors, and it's all just industry connections. Like, oh, so and so knows this person, this. Like, literally, the only place where artists can come up from nothing is the internet, and that's why I respect the internet platform the most, as opposed to like the industry. The whole I have management and booking. Like, whenever a producer messages me, they're like, oh, collab, just talk to my manager, talk to this. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that because that's fucking stupid. You talk to me like an actual person on the internet.
The people who look for music on the internet sort of know and understand that, but I think labels have found their own way to sort of subvert that and make it seem as if people are just getting hot on the internet, you know what I mean? And not getting hot off a radio play or anything like that. I mean, to me, that's how Lana Del Rey's whole come up sort of read to me. You know, the fact that this video game song, which had, you know, when you listen to the audio, had very high production to it.
Yeah,
you
wasn't
know,
she signed to
sections,
Interscope though? Like, wasn't she signed to like the biggest label?
The thing is, nobody knew that at the time that song originally came out and blew up on the internet.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is, what added to that mystery was that, you know, it looked like a crappy webcam video, and it looked like, you know, it was just like this homemade video that nobody, you know, really was really involved with other than her, and it looked super low key, and it looked super, you know, lo-fi, like kind of a DIY bedroom pop sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it seemed like this manufactured independent artist, and everybody was like, oh wow, who's this new indie artist? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, she's on Jules Holland, oh, she's on SNL, oh, she's like been signed to a major this whole
it's
time.
Like, oh wow,
you know?
How did this independent artist get on every single blog?
Yeah, exactly. So
because like that's one thing that
I think the major labels have found their own way of making it look like somebody has had this independent come up when in fact they didn't. You know?
I mean, that's what, like, I pay attention to all the, you know, all the artist publication, like, you know, Fader and like Vice, and then like all those other music people. I think what's another one? But like, I whenever I look at them, it's like, man, like half of this is manufactured, like half of this is paid for, half of this is just like, it's all business. And then like, I don't know, that's why you never see my music on any of those things. Like, I don't know, I've had my own internet, like, I've had my own internet success in some weird way. Like I've gotten my mixtapes have been downloaded like almost 20,000 times for free and for various amounts of money. But like there's still no like online article press about me or what I do. It's like it's mostly because I'm talking directly to my fans. I don't need you know, the machine to help me anymore. It's just the artist and the fan. There is no more machine around me.
So for somebody who wants to do what you do but sort of, you know, I guess kind of support themselves off of it. You know, are you at a point where you feel like you're personally sustainable doing what you are doing, or is there a certain level that you there? What is it?
I'm halfway there. I'm not like...
You're halfway there.
I'm not 100% where it's like, I am a fool, like, I am an adult artist who does what I do and could support myself off of it. Like, right now, I'm only halfway there, but at the same time, it's like, I can see how if I were to release, like, the right track, the right album, the right this, it could just blow up and be something greater than I'd be ready to handle. And honestly, I'm not ready to go viral or blow up or anything like that. Like, I'm still like emotionally, like, I still get like fucking mad when like someone on the internet's like, FrankJefc sucks. And I'm like, fuck you. So like, I'm not ready to be seen by like fucking millions of people yet. Like I'd rather take the slow pace to get to my goals. And I'm comfortable where I'm at right now.
I think that opens an interesting discussion. I want to ask you, you know, you're telling me about how you interact with your fans a lot because, you know, you want to show, and I think that you do legitimately care about, you know, people watching your videos and people listening to your music and interacting with what you do. Yeah. You know, but how do you sort of, you know, how do you deal with that hate that sort of gets thrown your and anybody else's way? You know,
I don't know. The only people that hate on me are other music producers, and that's something that gets to me a lot. Like, it's never like, oh, your music just sucks, like some person. It's always like someone who's like, your music sucks. And I click their link and it's like, check out my mixtape, check out my SoundCloud, check out my music, vaporwave. And I'm like, fuck, it's like, it's always the same people. And I'm trying to help those people. Like, that's what makes me mad, is that I'm trying to help people that want to make music. And my only critics are other music producers, which is why I actually made a diss track about that a while ago. But I don't want to release it just yet because I feel like that'd be really like petty of me to just like be like, here's a diss track to all the music producers that hate me. So like I'm waiting. What I'm waiting for is so I can get more like just more hate, so I can screenshot more pictures so it looks cooler. Like, so like right now I only have like about 36 seconds of footage, so I'm gonna wait till I guess I get bigger and then I get more hate so I can screenshot more pictures and make a giant video collage that's at least 4 minutes and 20 seconds long.
Do you think hate is something that you should ignore, or hate is something that you should acknowledge? And once you acknowledge it, is it something that, does how you acknowledge it matter? I mean, I find hate a lot of the time really entertaining.
Yeah, it is.
And a lot of the time I just kind of respond to haters just out of the sheer fact that I know once I respond to them, they're just going to throw more hate at me, and that just means more kind of lulls.
It's entertaining. Like, that's the thing, is we're in the entertainment business. As long as you can show us that something is entertaining, something will get shares, like, that's part of your business. Like
some dude on Twitter told me to cut my dick off the other day. Yeah. And then I just like retweeted it.
Yeah, like it's stuff like that. Like, the thing is, like, I'm very like into like the whole like yin and yang Buddhist stuff. So like, I believe love and hate are like two sides of the same coin. It's just energy.
Sure, they're both fueled by passion.
Yeah, they're both fueled by passion. And as an artist, that's what I want. Like, for some reason, like, my haters always think that because of what I do, that I'll get affected the most by if they tell me I'm not funny or if I'm cringe-worthy. Like, that's always like two things that they're always talking about. Like,
FrankJefc is such a liberally used term on the internet now.
Yeah, it's so stupid now. And or like another one, he's not funny. Like, they'll specifically go out of their way to tell me that I'm not funny. It's like, I know I'm not. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, that's what makes stuff funny, is if you're just 100% honest all the time. That's what I've learned. So that's where the Frank comes from, my FrankJavCee. The Jav stands for Japanese adult video.
But okay, to go back to how cringy you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so overused on the internet now, and it's just like I believe it. I don't know. When you tell me that you've cringed on the internet, like, I believe that in the same way I believe, like, when you say LOL, that you like actually laugh.
Yeah, that's true.
In front of your computer. It's like, you didn't actually cringe.
Yeah.
Like,
you're just,
and this is coming from somebody who, before everybody was saying everything made them cringe on the internet, like, I used to love to watch cringe compilations. Yeah. And now, like, they're just everywhere, to the point where, like, now, because I've watched like several dozen cringe compilations, like, every single time I go on YouTube, they're like, hey man, you want to watch this new cringe compilation? I'm like, ugh, no, I'm done.
Yeah,
like, half of the stuff isn't even cringy anymore because I've just cringed at so much shit. And not only that, but like, people are just so desperate to find anything to cringe at on the internet now that like half of the stuff they put in the compilations now isn't even really cringy.
Yeah, it's low-key like a fetish. It's kind of like porn because it gives you a physical reaction.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I feel like people, I feel like on the internet we've just like so overexhausted every emotional like response that we could have to almost everything, with like totally hilarious stuff and uncontrollably cute things and stuff that just like, really makes us angry. And now people are just like, man, what do I do on the internet now? Like, I'm tired of funny, and I'm tired of angry, and I'm tired of all these usual emotions I feel on the internet.
Yeah, it's like,
let's look for something cringy. I kind of feel like cringy is now that hipster emotion that you seek out on the internet. If you're like looking for, some alternative
feels.
Yes, if you're looking for some alternative feels, because your average person probably isn't going on the, like, there are no moms going on the internet like, oh, what do I look up on the internet today? Let's look for some stuff to cringe at, But if you're like this alternative like tween or teenager, like looking for some alternative feels and stimulation, you're like, let's look for some stuff to cringe at, guys.
It's like, I knew I grew up when I was in a Skype group, and there was like these edgy teenagers that were like, FrankJavCee's in our call. Let's go on the Pain Olympics and see if he could handle it. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, I've seen this literally like 4 times already. Like, it's like, whatever. Yeah, it's just like, it's just red and fucking gross flesh colored stuff. After a while, it just becomes so plain. Like,
oh, are you talking about like gore stuff?
Yeah, like even like the hardcore stuff. Like, after a while, it's like, there's so many images on 4chan that you can see so many times that you'll be like, I need something different. And that's what I like about art, is like, art creates something so like, that's why I'm really into ambivalence, like being happy and sad at the same time. Like, a lot of my stuff I try to bring both sides of the of the coin together to create something like that'll make you feel happy and sad, like something that makes you feel good and positive, to create like this weird shining that like only exists within art.
You're talking about sort of that being a sign that you grew up. Do you feel like with age comes a certain numbness. I don't know if you would call that numbness, your lack of reaction to, sort of seeing the gory videos and all that.
Yeah, like I guess with age comes like a lot of like I'm only 24, so I'm
old man.
Mean, I am old on the internet.
Old man.
Because like a lot of people are like 9/11 jokes. I was born after 9/11. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'll be like, oh shit, like, man, I'm fucking old. But yeah, like, I think with as time goes on, you get a little bit like, I guess a little bit more numb towards everything. But I think my compass towards finding quality is a little bit better. Like I know when something's good and when something's not now. Whereas like when I was a teenager, the stuff I thought was cool is actually like shitty now.
Give me an example of something that you thought was cool and now it's shitty.
Anime.
the whole genre?
Yes, the entire genre of anime. No, I'm just kidding. That's something to get the kids out there to be like, oh, anime. I'm trying to think because like the thing is, I forget a lot of the shit that I thought was cool, but like the stuff that I thought was cool, it stays with me forever, Like I was really into electro pop back in the mid 2000s, like when I was like in middle school and high school. Like Metric was my favorite band. I had their album on CD, so I'd listen to that a lot. I was really into like grunge and Nirvana back in like high school and stuff. That actually set my entire aesthetic for high school. I was just a wannabe Kurt Cobain and had ripped up jeans and flannel shirts all throughout high school because of that. And I actually learned every single one of their songs on guitar, so that's why my influence from guitar is all Kurt Cobain stuff. I even had his diaries. That's so weird to think about that Courtney Love would like sell his diaries. Like if I ever die and my girlfriend sells my journals, I'd be fucking mad as a ghost.
Oh, would you?
Yeah. Oh, I know some stuff that I like that I think now back is like there's this one video game I really liked on Nintendo 64. It was Quest 64 because it was like the only RPG on the Nintendo 64, and I tried to play it like last year and I was like, holy shit, this is the worst game ever made. Like it's so shitty. Like just everything about it's shitty. And I played it like 3 times all the way through as a kid. So it's like stuff like that, like quality. Like I don't know.
Recently I've been getting into playing Super Smash Brothers for the Wii U.
Yeah.
And I remember as a kid, and this is part of the reason I got into playing it for the Wii U. As a kid, I loved Super Smash Brothers 64.
Yeah, I loved it too. That's my main like fucking game. Like I can play competitively against people on 64.
Like I used to play that game so often. Used to main Kirby. Me and my brother would play that game for hours. And I remember we would just like try so hard to outplay each other. And there's like this YouTube channel where they do like, competitive Smash weeklies.
Yeah.
And they they upload all the results and they upload, a lot of the videos of, just like the highlights and stuff onto YouTube. And then I had seen like a week or so ago, they uploaded a bunch of like competition footage from Smash 64, like some Smash 64 like rounds, some sets. And I was like, oh man, I gotta watch this. I haven't seen this game in years. And I was like, holy shit. I swear to God that the graphics were so much better.
Yeah.
Like
right?
in my memory, like, but as I was watching it, I was like, did they make this fucking game on a potato? Like, what's going on here?
It's like
it was moving so slow and it just seemed so clunky.
Yeah.
And I just did not. I was just like, I don't know, my heart sank for a second. I was like, man, I thought my childhood was so cool.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Like to think that like 10, 20 years from now, like little kids playing like the Wii U version are going to look back at that and be like, gross.
Yeah, it's like the graphics suck so much.
Yeah. It's so crazy how technology just gets better and better. But yeah, like that's what I think makes the whole wave of like nostalgia core like what's so interesting is like a lot of producers are like, oh, I remember when I didn't know the world at all and it was just like these colors and stuff, and I'm trying to recreate that. And a lot of people in their art have been doing that recently.
But still, though, there are some video games back then that I believe on your second channel you're doing like a Let's Play of Earthbound.
Oh yeah, I love Earthbound a lot.
I still think that's such a great game.
Yeah,
and
it's cute.
There's still like a lot of Nintendo 64 RPGs, like from the Final Fantasy series or Chrono Trigger or Secret of Mana or Legend of Zelda that I still think are like really great games.
Yeah, all those games have special places in my heart. There's actually this theory towards why I think people go to video game culture on YouTube so much, because like it's as an art form, it combines all the arts together, but adds the interactive part of it. So like you're actually controlling it. So it uses more parts of your brain and invests you more, which is why whenever people talk about video games on YouTube, suddenly everyone's like video games, and they want to watch that, which is also why like all those channels where it's like I'm playing a video game while talking have been blowing up recently too.
Do you think video games sort of to me, video games now are at a point where they're as popular and as relevant and as sort of accessible as music, you know?
Yeah, I think it's bigger.
Like pretty much everybody plays games now, you know? So, you know, do you see video games as sort of, I'm sort of, you know, is it the bigger art form, or does music kind of win out? Because once again, music can kind of slip really into anything. And even with video games, like sure, video games are great, but there's still music in video games.
Yeah,
you know?
music is the glue, I feel.
Yeah.
And as an art form, video games are like one of the ultimate art forms. It combines music, it combines narrative, it combines visuals, and then what it does better than everything else is it combines interactivity. Like you are inside the art, you become part of the art. And when
so if music is sort of a glue, what exactly is video games to that? You know, like what would video games be that? What is the music gluing together, sort of in that sense?
Computer programming and art together, and I think what it is it's like creating that whole. Like I'm always thinking about the future. Like I love the future more than I love the past, and the idea of technology getting better and better.
Me too.
And I like the idea that one day we're going to be able to put our brains into the computers, into the environments. And video games are slowly the first art form to really put us into the art. Like when you play a video game, you became one with the art, and that's something that I think as technology gets better and better, we're going to be closer to doing, which is why I fuck heavily with the VR movement. And on my second channel, I've been uploading music videos that are VR. So when I don't even have a virtual reality headset, but when I get one, I want to start making music videos that are in 360 degrees, and you can look anywhere. And I think the future of when technology gets better is video games are going to be very important to music and all arts. It's like, a band is going to release an album, and then their album is going to be a video game. It's like I'd imagine it as like especially with the vaporwave. Like that's why I really love Banshee the most out of all the vaporwave artists. Is they created this this visual moving thing where you travel through a visual just 3D area with the music. And I think that's where I really want to take my music in the future, is creating like 3-dimensional spaces that you can control that follow the music.
I believe Anamanaguchi just like released an album and like a video game or music for a video game like at the same time on their Twitter. Like they just leaked it.
Yeah.
And they've done video game soundtracks before. Mm-hmm. And some people are crazy for video game soundtracks. Like I think Ghostly International, they just like released a vinyl version of like the Minecraft soundtrack.
Yeah.
And also, I love the Minecraft soundtrack.
Yeah, who doesn't love the Minecraft soundtrack? It's so relaxing. There was Undertale. That guy, he did all the music and he did all the game, and that like got him like billions and billions of dollars just from that. Like that's what I was really interested in, and like people invest heavily into it. Like I said, like the more you're interactive with the media, the more you want to do stuff with the media. Like there's millions and millions of fan arts, recreations, all this stuff from this guy's art because of how much it invests people in that. So like I've been like low key want to like pursue like computer programming, because I only know like basic HTML and some C++, but that's about it. But like I want to start getting heavily into like understanding 3-dimensional moving around space and creating like 3-dimensional rendering stuff. Like that's why I worked with a YouTube artist, Andy Wilson 92, for my Vaporwave is Dead review, where I was just like kind of like whatever, and I was like he really got me interested in like 3D rendering and 3D modeling, and I was like, oh, that's really cool, you can do a bunch of shit with that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how much of an impact music can have when you sort of put it together with a visual that people really like. Like that little 8-bit tune that you gave me for my second YouTube channel. Like people ask me about that all the time. Like there's so many comments on every single video, which is funny because like if that song wasn't paired with those videos, people that song they wouldn't have even known what it was. Yeah, you know, or like that little weird instrumental that I used to put at the end of my reviews. Yeah, that I just recorded as just
your jazz,
sort of not the jazz thing like that. It's got like the guitar
one.
Yeah, the guitar one.
Yeah.
Yes, the guitar one. I'm trying to remember the chord progression, like what I stole that from.
Isn't it like it sounds like Chainless Memories or something? It's like dun 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 dun.
Yeah. That chord progression has been used in a million songs, and people used to ask me about that all the time, and it's just funny how it's just like a little 14-second instrumental, and if people had ever heard it by itself, they probably wouldn't think that much of it.
Yeah.
But because it's at the end of a video, people are like, "Where's the rest of that song? Where'd that song come from?" And it's just like, I don't know. It came from this video.
There's something that like got on my nerves about that. Like, where's this rest of the song? Like, a lot of the times I'll make a track and people be like, "Extend it, make it longer." I'm like, just play it over again. Like, I hate looping myself. Like, as an artist, I hate listening to a song that just repeats over and over again. So like when I make music, I make sure to structure it so that you don't hear the same sound repeated twice. So I like people like will listen to it over and over again. But on my last video, my how to make vapor trap, I've gotten so many messages for the last future funk part where I literally just put a kick, a vengeance kick to a Diana Ross sped up instead of slowed down. That was my homage to a Macintosh Plus. Is I instead of slowing it down, I sped it up and put a kick to the Diana Ross song. And people were like, "Can you extend this 40-second part longer?" And it's like, what? You want like a 3-minute thing out of a 40-second thing? Like the entire track is supposed to be seen as one art, but people want like the specific small little part to be extended to 3 minutes.
It does not. Me personally, as a music listener, I don't like exact sort of just copying and pasting kind of repetition either.
Yeah.
That to me is sort of a turn off, and it turns me off sometimes when I hear it in music. But the thing is, some people's ears aren't fine-tuned enough to tell when something is like repeating exactly.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you do it, like only you really know, whereas like a lot of people listening will just, to them, it's just like,
Yeah.
To them, it's fine, because the thing is, for a lot of people who aren't musicians and they're listening to music, they're just looking and enjoying a pattern, and all they're really telling you is that I want this pattern to happen more.
Yeah. And I think it's still funny though. Like there was this one song that me and Marion is Magical on Twitter, we made together. Like she sings in all my songs and stuff, and like we made it in less than a day, and I put it on my channel because I was bored, and people were like, "You need to make an extended version." And I was like, maybe. And then like the next day on YouTube, there was like 4 or 5 different versions of the song just looped to like 5 minutes long, and I was like, what the fuck?
Dude, that's why extended dance mixes exist.
Yeah, I'm planning on, when I start doing live stuff, to probably do extended dance mixes, so it gives me time to like, I don't know, just like put tracks together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes when people, I don't know, sometimes when people like something, they just want it to happen extended, or they want it to happen more. Like there are people who just harass me to review video games and movies.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like I never really went through a period where I was obsessed with movies in the way that I was obsessed with music, So if I talked about a movie, I don't know, I would probably talk about how the storyline sucks or something, but that's really it.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do some film stuff too, because I actually went to college for film. So like I literally only went to college because I really liked watching movies in class, and I assumed getting a film degree meant I would just watch a lot of movies in class. And literally that's all it was watching like the same I don't know, like 10 films over and over again. The one that they always show in film schools is a Trip to the Moon, which is about like the first ever sci-fi.
Yeah.
So I've seen that like hundreds of times.
All right, I think we should start closing things up a little bit right now.
No problemo.
Before we leave, let me try to get out of you what kind of advice would you give to some of the kids who are maybe messaging you and hey FrankJavCee, I'm a producer and I hate your music and I leave all sorts of comments on your YouTube channel about how you suck, but still, you're bigger and you're more popular than me, and I want to know how do I get popular? How do I get a viral hit? I really want to make a banger, so can you teach me how to make a banger, because I really want to get popular and to get viral?
All right, well, here's the thing. What you're going to need to realize is that you are an independent individual who will never exist like anyone else in the world. So you need to show everyone your unique perspective of reality through the form of music. Don't try to be someone else. Don't try to be someone you think the audience wants you to be. What you got to do is create something so unique and so special to yourself that you yourself as an artist will like and admire. And if you like it, that's all that matters. Release it to the world and others will come.
And what kind of music should I make? Should I make trap, or should I make vaporwave, or should I make samba, or should I make happy hardcore?
You should make music that literally is something that you can create that no one else can create, and that is how you create a genre.
So is the goal to create a genre?
Not really. It's to create music that you love. Like, I feel like a lot of it has to do with passion. And if you're not passionate about your art, if like I'm not gonna lie, there were times I literally didn't want to make tutorials. I didn't want to make music. Like, I hated it. But then there are other times when it's like, dude, I really love this so much. I have to make it. I have to show people that. And when I do stuff like that, it usually does better than I thought it would.
And what about somebody who is starting out with trying to be creative just on the YouTube platform? To what do you attribute? Listen, I know you didn't get 100,000 subscribers in a month like some of these other people, like some of these other jokers over here, but still, you've seen quite a bit of success doing what you do, and you're making content that is very alternative. It's very niche, but it has a passionate audience behind it, and it has this rewatchability factor to it that I think is elusive to some people.
Yeah, a lot of people, they want that hit, they want that flash in the pan. But what I would say is you have to create art. Like, when I make videos, I watch them over and over again. Like, I know it sounds kind of like I'm just masturbating myself, but literally when I make art that I like, I'll listen to it over and over again, watch it over and over again. And when I can do that, that's when I know I've made something special that someone else out there would like to watch and listen to, or just anything.
Okay. So so basically kind of a baseline thing is if you come out with something and you can't watch it over and over again, or you're not enjoying it while you're watching it, you're just like, no, this needs to be redone.
Yeah, that's how I know that like the art isn't good. But if it's something that I'm really passionate about, that I'm addicted to, then that's how I know the art is good, in my opinion.
Okay. So it's all just kind of personal taste, and you're hoping that, your personal taste is not only being reflected with accuracy in what you're creating, but you're also hoping that other people are going to vibe for it as well.
Yeah, like it's all about the universal subconscious. I feel like everyone universally like kind of shifts into like different like states of thought that I noticed that, well, that's where the trends start, like where people start all doing this similar thing where it's like we all just like subconsciously go like, this is cool now. And like the more you follow that, the more you it's not necessarily following that, but like the more you do your own stuff, eventually you create that thing that people goes, oh, this is cool now. And then everyone starts doing it.
And do you think something is happening beyond just, I don't know, what you would call preference in that sort of instance? I mean, you're talking about sort of the subconscious thing, going on. I mean, is it really as deep as that, or is it just like, we all just happen to like this?
I mean, there's always like two sides. Like that's the thing about like the duality of nature that freaks me out. It's like literally it could just be like, oh, it's just a coincidence, or there could be something more, and the answer is like not really stated. It's like even in the whole like quantum physics thing where it's like everything is a yes or no until it's observed, and then when you observe it, it's like it's either a yes or a no, a 1 or a 0. So it's like it's always so elusive, and that's why I love art so much.
Oh my God. That you see the world in an interesting way, and I thank you for coming onto the podcast and sort of giving us a glimpse into your very dense binaural mind.
Thank you so much for having me, Anthony Fantano.
We're going to link you guys down there in the description box to FrankJavCee's main channel, his second channel, Dank Frank, his Bandcamp, his nude photos.
Yep, they're there.
His tour schedule.
Eventually,
if if I manage to get around to it and there is a tour schedule in the future, I will go back in time. I don't even have to go back in time because the internet. I will go back into my video catalog and I will put the tour schedule in my description box.
Oh, thank you.
You just got to remind me. If you don't remind me, I'm not going to do it. If you don't remind me, I'm not going to do it.
Don't worry. When I'm a famous multi-billionaire Grammy producer, I will always thank you. And when I get that first Grammy, I'll be like, Anthony Fantano and no one else. Then I'm going to walk off the stage.
No, you won't. Don't fucking lie.
You never know.
Okay, see, you've already cast doubt on it.
Well, like I said, ones and zeros until we observe it.
Okay, cool. Thank you for being on, man.